All right, lecture 7. This one is going to be exclusively on stairs and ramps. They're kind of their own weird little thing. So we're just going to do stairs and ramps for this demo. So behind me right here, turn that off. So I've got this small little structure right here that I built, just something that we can work with to begin placing things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by clicking on the stair button up here under the architecture menu and then stair. I'm just going to go with the default settings right now, and the first thing I'm going to check is I'm going to check the location line right here, and it's got the run center. So if I was to start placing this with the run center in this view right here, it's going to center the stair on the center of the actual staircase or stair like run itself. I actually want it to be up against this wall, so I have some other options here, including run right and exterior support right. These are different things, so just keep an eye out when you are using them. Um, it's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can change some values here to get this um, to show a little bit clearer. So right there you can see that it's on the outside line of this right here, and I'll show you what that support is later. But that outside line right there is actually running right up against the wall. And why don't we come over here and I can actually show you guys what that looks like. So there's that section right there, and then if I change this to run right, and let's see if it'll freak out. It should do auto landing. Okay, so right here you can see the bottom section. That was the first one that had the exterior support right. And so this bar right here that makes up the exterior support of that staircase is flat against the wall, whereas the run right, that is actually inside of the wall right there. So that's what that difference is going to be between these location lines. So make sure you consider that when you are putting the stairs together. So after that, a couple other things I want to point out. So when you start placing the stairs, check the actual run width first. So you want to make sure that the run of your stairs is going to be as wide as it is. Default's going to be 3 inches. Something like 5 foot might be more standard for say like a nicer home, whereas some Chico apartments might have 2.5 feet. I don't remember what code is for it, but they're usually super narrow around here. And then of course we have our option for offset as well to change settings there. So let me just put down a simple staircase and we'll get started from there. So inside of this building here, I've got this view for my level 1. I'm going to click on that button right there. I want to use the exterior support right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here and I'm going to start moving. And as I start doing that, you can see that now that I've set the actual run width to 5 feet, these stairs are a little bit wider. It's also got this counter down here. Just keep an eye right here. You see it's got 10 risers created, 8 remaining. And as I drag this in and out, you can see that that number actually adjusts itself. So it will keep track of how many stairs you've placed and how many you need. Once I click, it's going to either finish that, so I've got one set of stairs right there, and then I can come over here and I can refer to that other side, click, start drawing again, just short. I think that'll work. Nah, let me drag this one out. So undo that. I'll have to start a little bit further out. So I'll go to right here, right here and here. And now you can see right there on this, the stairs are just peeking up above the level right there. So if I'm happy with that, I can click check mark and it's going to place those stairs. Now, by default, it's got these railings that are going to come with it. You can select the railing and you can change the railing right here. So I can change this to a different type of railing. Now you can see it's got these glass panels. These glass panels can be edited kind of like I glossed over real quickly with window frames and things. So you can change the height of them. If I wanted, say, 2'6" for the height, um, I could change the height there. And then, let's see, top rail, I could change the actual model that it's using. That's kind of going off in the weeds. Actually, I suppose we don't need to go into these details. But you can change the settings for the railings themselves. If I select the stairs as well, I can change the type of stairs. Let me hide. Where's the ceiling? Um, let's see. Click on that. So I can change the type of stair. Oh, it's not going to like that. Okay, let me just get away from that for a second. So let me actually open up the ceiling, because that's another thing that you guys need to do while you're working with these, is you actually need to edit your, sorry, not edit, come on, where is this ceiling at? When you're working with the stairs, you'll actually need to manage the hole that gets cut in the space for them to occupy. Is that my ceiling? There we go, finally. Okay. Sorry, that's my floor. So, from here, I've got my floor selected that I'm going to use to modify. So I'm going to click Edit Boundary. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to, on this level 1 right here, I'm going to reference and trace an outline of these stairs and close that off. Then I'm also going to come in and split, and then I can delete this section. So now when I click the check mark, nope, I can go back to here, and we can see that now the stairs actually open up through that space. Now, the other thing I need to do here is I need to actually put in the ceiling on my ground floor. So go back to ceiling here, sketch ceiling, and I'm going to try and trace the exact area that I used just now to outline my ceiling. And now you can see there's that gap next to my ceiling. Let's actually pull this down real quick. So you can see that now I've got this gap between my floor, my ceiling, and my floor above, and then the stairs are right there next to it. So I do actually need to have some kind of space to fill in there. So one option I have is to come into this view right here. I'll work from my level 1 again. And I'm just using generic walls for this. So I can come in here, I can change my finish face to, let's do exterior, won't just bounce it. Okay, so there, there, and there. And so now that I've got that, I can, let's also adjust this to top constraint level 2. And then anytime you have a floor, a ceiling that goes up to a floor, just set the top offset to -1 inches, and that'll get rid of that weird hatching thing that's doing right there. So that gives you a nice clean delineation there, and I might actually need to come back and bump this ceiling a little bit too. Let's see, do that. Just because I don't like seeing those little flashing lines like that. Alright, so now I can take these and let's see. I believe I did 8-foot ceiling. I didn't change anything, so let's change base offset to 8 foot. Let's do 7 foot not. Oh, sorry, 7 foot 11. 7 foot 11. Again, just to get rid of those extra lines. I'll need a. What view is this? North. I need a north elevation, and I can select the other walls in here. Let's just hide this for now. Hide that. Okay, so north elevation, and then we'll set all of these also up to level 1, 7 foot 11 inches. Okay, so now inside of here, oh, it's not going to let me do that. I've got, let me also hide this wall, hide in view, elements, okay. So now you can see that inside of this space right here, I've got this nice combination of connections that kind of fill in all these gaps. I don't have an open space between there. I have a nice finished ceiling, or sorry, nice finished wall that fills in that space. Now, alternatively, I could come in and do some other things with this. So for example, with this wall selected, I could drag this down, I could drag this one down, and see if I can get it to snap on the floor. Okay, so instead of doing that, what I could do is, we'll also hide this. I could take this wall right here, this is the one that's backing up against that, and I can edit the profile of this wall and do something like that. What do you want from me? Remove constraints. And I can work my way around and just kind of clean these lines up here with this profile. No, go right there. So sometimes Revit has a mind of its own. That looks fairly close. Let's see what happens. So, you know what? Let's go back to edit profile because we also need this section up here. Still need that. So, check mark. Okay, back to 3D. And so now I have a wall that follows that up, and this is probably the worst way to do this corner. Might just leave that down to the ground or something. Just an alternative way to draw that face though. So let's set you back to 0. Okay. So that's just another way where you could draw that. Let me throw a camera in here. View. Let's see if we can actually see it from there. So now you can see that there's actually a, drag you over here. So you can see that I use that slope right there to define that space, to follow up that stairwell up to the top. And then it looks like that could probably be adjusted over a little bit, but so that's kind of the initial placement of stairs. And then me kind of going off for 30 minutes about nothing. Um, so in addition to that, there's a whole bunch of different stair types you can use. I'll just kind of throw a couple off to the side here. Go back here. So from, let's see. So I did the monolithic and it threw that error. It's just because of the way these place. So they've just got, a monolithic is kind of what you might recognize as a lot of Chico apartments, just with a cast in place concrete staircase. So you've got that right there. The stairs themselves are going to be dependent on the height that you're going up to. What's this error? Oh, probably didn't make it long enough, huh? Undo that. And then, oh yeah, I only did 17 steps. Okay. So make sure that you go the full distance. So you can go here. That's a monolithic stair. We'll place that one. They will go up to the floor you set. So for example, if I was to start, let me go back to north here. I'll copy and paste level 3. I'll go over this part more in detail. So there's a level 3 right there. So if I was to go back to level 1 right here, create a new stair, we'll do precast stair, and then this one will go up to level 3. And so if I start drawing here at level 1, you can see this one's got an even longer run in order to get to the top. So there you go, right there, great big old length of stairs. And then with this out here, I can actually show you guys what some of these railings are going to look like. So that's that one. So glass panel. This one is guardrail. Most of these should be up to US building code, so I wouldn't worry too much about anything beyond that. Let's see. Does this one have different options? I guess rectangular pipe, okay. Yeah. So you've got a couple different options here. This one actually has a separate handhold inside of it. It's kind of hard to see right there. And then you can change all these settings just by kind of going off into the weeds in here in these editing options. I would not advise doing that at this moment, but you can. Some of the other options that I would kind of advise you to check out once you're comfortable with stairs is going to be some of the more freehand drawing tools here. So I use the straight, and you can just do a little thing like that, and then a thing like that. Um, this right here, this action is kind of sketchy in Revit. Um, it this is actually kind of the first time 2020 is kind of the first time that this has mostly worked correctly. But if you want a really specific way that your stairs are going to come up with a riser, you might want to just end up using the drawing tool. And this is kind of a nightmare, but if you want, say, stairs that, let's see, boundary. So, like, let's say I've got some kind of weird expansion that I want to do, and then riser. Oh, I think I did that. No, I did that wrong. The riser. Let's see. There's a tricky way to do these. Um, just if you get to the point where you feel like you would like to try doing those, feel free to jump into that. It's a hot mess, though, kind of doing anything that's more than just a straight kind of staircase. You can specify the landings themselves. So if I wanted to have kind of a cool landing here, I could come in and draw that myself. And then that's the boundary. Draw the landing. Finish the stairs, and let's switch this to exterior support left, and I can go up that way. And where'd that one go? Oh, shoot, that's in that ceiling. Let's get this out of here. Okay, so you can see you can kind of go in there and customize these. Some of the settings, again, though, are a little sketchy. Select that and rotate. Okay. So, that's stairs. Ramps are basically the same thing, but they're going to have a default max. So when you're working with the stairs, let me get actually out of here real quick. You've got the actual tread depth and the run. So you've got your distances that are set right here for the actual the depth, and then your start, or sorry, no, your depth. And then it's got the riser height fixed right here, depending on what type of stair it is. I think you get more height with these guys. Oh, no, actually it calculates it. It calculates what it needs to be, so don't worry about the actual height. You can go in and adjust this, so if I said I wanted, instead of 18, I wanted 22, it'll adjust that to the actual height, because it's always a weird fraction when you try to go, like, say, 10 feet divided by whatever. So this is what your height would be, and then your tread depth is actually going to determine how long some of these are, and that's going to get mad at me. But you can see that it just kind of stretched that out because I changed that length. So you can customize your stairs in a whole bunch of crazy ways. Ramps are basically going to be I believe they have a fixed, no, they shouldn't have a fixed rise. You should be able to adjust it. But I believe it's a 112 rise. And so anytime you place them, it's just going to be a really shallow um, kind of thing right there where it looks like, see how far I had to go just to go what looks like a couple feet in the air. So ramps are going to be kind of a nightmare if you're trying to do multi-stories with just ramps. And that's why they're difficult to work in any architecture, is because you need to go, for every 12 feet of run, you need 1 inch of rise. I believe that's, I think that's I know it's U.S. code. I believe it's international code too. Um, so yeah, that one's kind of a nightmare, and why people don't like doing that. So, um, okay, stairs, ramps, stairs, and then the other thing I wanted to show. Let's go to. Let's see. Um, I need to turn. Let's see. Is it the sun? No. Where do all my things go? Um, okay. Let's turn. Things back on here. Okay, so I got my ceiling back here. All right, the last thing I kind of want to go over real quick is just railings. I threw them in, I think, in a previous demo. So architecture, railing, same options you guys had in some of the other things. When you're placing them, just go through and let's see, let's make sure we're on level 2. And then I like to just put my railings right in the center. It's entirely up to you, but I think they kind of work best when they're centered. Okay, I think we're done barking. So just place the line for them. The line on railings doesn't need to close, so just the line existing there works. And then again, change your panels. And then one thing I wanted to point out, that is kind of relevant to the project you guys are going to be working on, is that I do want to see spaces where anytime you have a something that is open to below, you need to have a ceiling there, and anytime it's open to above, you need to have a floor there. So keep in mind, like things like this, where you just have to create a thin bar here that comes out from your existing structure, and then is finished at the bottom with a ceiling, and then again at the top with a floor. That's what I want to see in a lot of your projects. So especially with this project one, where you're going to be creating a lot of stairs, you guys don't need to do the kind of nutty thing I did inside of here with that profile. That was just to show you a way you could do that. You can just put your stairs in there, not too particular about it. But when you are putting in areas that are open to above or below, you do need to have something that covers both the bottom and the top of those sides. Okay, so that's the lecture on stairs, and then I believe I have to follow it up with a couple other ones. So I will be back with those. Cheers.